What is up, everybody? How y'all doing? This is Jermaine from That Christian Fam, one half of That Christian Fam, and we are looking forward to diving into this topic on this evening, y'all. What up to everybody in the chat? Shavers, how you doing, bro? Hold it down. Yeah, man. Yeah, we about to get into it, man. But listen, um, before we get started, I just wanted to put this little disclaimer out here, y'all. I'm actually going to be showing some clips of some different videos, but I just wanted to start this video off on the right foot. I want to let y'all know that listen, y'all know this is That Christian Fam, okay? We do not, you know, where we stand on these type of issues, on these type of ideals, however you want to say it. But at no point whatsoever will we ever aim to be hateful towards someone, violent towards anybody, or anything like that. But at the same time, we're gonna stand boldly on what we believe according to the Word of God and according to our faith in Jesus Christ. And we don't back down from that for nobody. So if y'all don't know the nature of this channel and y'all don't know who I am or what we stand for, understand that you're talking to somebody or listening to somebody who really don't care. I don't. When I say I really don't care is no matter what you say or how you say something, somehow, some way, somebody's going to find a way to get offended by what you say. And we learned that the hard way because when we actually had our children on our channel, and we about to get them back on here too, but when we had our children on our channel, we were teaching them Bible lessons. We had people commenting saying that we were brainwashing our children and all this other stuff just because we were teaching them the Word of God. What up, brother? How you doing? Yeah. Is my volume good? I got to check on this. Is my volume good? Oh yeah, it sounds good. It sounds pretty good. Y'all let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if my volume's good. Shaver says, greetings, brother Jermaine, and all watching. Hope all is well. What's next? Feminist canceling James Brown for his man. Hey, listen, they already tried that with James Brown, cuz I don't know if you late to the party or what, but yeah. So anyways, listen, y'all, if y'all have been listening or living under a rock, you may have already heard about the whole Aretha Franklin song controversy. She has a song from 1968 called Natural Woman that many of us do know. And there was an article or whatever that came out from TCMA or whatever that came out basically blasting the song, saying that it perpetuates multiple harmful anti-trans stereotypes. That there's no such thing as a natural woman. This song has helped inspire acts of harm against transgender women. Now, full disclaimer, I want y'all to know that, listen, it later came out that, hey, this is from a satire account, and we're going to get into that here in a minute. But without further ado, y'all, what I'm about to do, hit the wrong button. What I'm about to do, y'all, is I'm about to play this clip because we're not only going to address this Aretha Franklin situation, y'all. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to dive in a little bit further because we're going to address some other things. But before we do, let me go ahead and play this clip of this little montage I made. All right. And we're gonna react. Now, listen, this is my natural responses. I don't have anything scripted or whatsoever. I don't. But I just want y'all to see this in its full display, okay? And I'm gonna be commenting throughout this video and give y'all my pure, raw, unadulterated thoughts on the video that I'm about to share. All right, here we go. Okay, already stopping. Listen, just in the words of the song, you make who feel like a natural woman? She's saying You make me feel like a natural woman. And there's something to be said to that, because you see the women in the audience, they're singing along with the song and all of this. And my question is, at what point do we start to consider the women who were born natural women? At what point do we consider their thoughts or consider their feelings? Because there's really only, and y'all already know where we stand, we only believe that there's one kind of woman, the natural woman, the woman that was born with a vajayjay. All right. And so, at what point do we take into consideration the thoughts and feelings of the women who were born women? Because I keep hearing all of this stuff about trans women rights and all this other stuff. But at some point, when are we going to buck back? Or actually, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. At what point are we going to start considering how natural women feel, how women who were born with a vajayjay in breasts, how they feel? Or are we just going to say, you know what? We're just going to be bullied by the alphabet community. We're going to acquiesce to them. We're just going to give in to them and all this other stuff. Like, at what point do we say, you know what, women's voices, heterosexual people's voices, when are they going to have a voice, or do you want them to have a voice at all? Or are they just going to be silenced? Anyways, y'all, that's just one little part of the clip. So naturally, a trans activist group in Norway got major backlash for deeming the 1968 hit song offensive. Now, listen, it later came out that this was a satire account, okay? All right. But listen, yes, even though it was a satire account, and for those of us who do not know what a satire account is, let me tell y'all, a satire in literature is a type of social commentary. Writers use exaggeration, irony, and other devices to poke fun of a particular leader, a social custom or tradition, or any other prevalent social figure or practice that they want to comment on and call into question. Now, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. It later came out that, oh, this was just fun. This was just a joke. This is a satire account. We're just free. We're just free.
Not up in here. Not up in here.
Not the case. Not so fast, my friend. Listen. Do y'all remember? I'm old enough to remember. Let me go back to memory lane. And this is for me because I'm a dude, and for women listening, y'all can, put yourself in a situation for yourselves. When you like a person, all right, when you were a kid, you might throw something out there and be like, if you wanted them to be if I wanted her to be my girlfriend, I would say something like, you would say something silly like, oh yeah, what would you do if you were my girlfriend, or what would you say if you were my girlfriend? All this other stuff, right? All right. And the reason why you did that is because you were trying to gauge what her reaction would be if you actually asked her to be your girlfriend. And for the women, if you actually, well, I don't know if you was asking dudes to be your boyfriend, but put a one in the chat if y'all can relate to that situation. Put a one in the chat if if you ever asked a girl as a child, hey, listen, you just tried to test the waters real quick to see, what would she actually say if I asked her out, if I asked her to be my girlfriend? What would she actually say? And so what I'm getting at with this is, oftentimes what people do is they throw something out there as, oh, that's a joke. And there's truth in every joke. There's some truth in every joke. You might say, oh, I'm joking, but you just came back and said you were joking because you saw the negative backlash. Or you just threw it out as a joke to just test the waters to see how people would respond. You know what this reminds me of? For those of us who got the shot, and y'all know the bang bang shot, for those of us who got the vaccination, all right? Now, I know good and well that this is not the mark. It's not the mark of the beast. I got it. Okay. We understand that it's not the mark of the beast. I understand that. Okay. However, it was a great test run. It was a great test run. In other words, okay, this may not be the real thing that's going to roll out, but what this may be is a test run to see what's going to happen down the line when we want to usher in something else. It may be the mark, it may be some other thing that they want to roll out. But clearly, this could serve, as a gauge to, to how the country and the world, I would say, would respond when we want to roll something out to the masses. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I heard what a lot of people came back and said, a lot of people who were within that community were, oh, well, this was a satire. I got it was a satire account. However, there's truth in every joke, and don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. If they didn't come for Aretha for real this time, it ain't that far down the line. You know why? Because there's enough people within this world that really believe that song is offensive. Shout out to the natural women in the chat. Y'all see it. Y'all see it right there. Perpetuates harmful anti-trans stereotypes. There is no such thing as a natural woman. So all the women in the chat, I guess y'all don't exist. I guess there's no such thing as y'all because, y'all were born with a JJ and all that stuff, the natural woman anatomy. And I guess y'all don't exist according to this article or according to this publication, this tweet or whatever. All right. See, this, my dude, see, this is what I'm talking about. Shout out to Carl Gottlieb. This dude said, so someone heard the song and attacked trans people. What are things that never happened for 400, Alex? Well, I would say, Alex, I know where he's going with this. Basically, like somebody playing Jeopardy. In other words, he's making fun of this. And you know what? Yeah, like somebody's really going to hear that song, Natural Woman, and say, you know what? I'm just so fed up with these trans women. I'm so frustrated. I don't want to do something to these people. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to hear Aretha Franklin song from 1968, mind you, and say, you know what? I want to commit some violence towards people. Let me tell you something. If that was to happen, they already had it in their minds to do from the jump. They were already going to do whatever they did. So in no way, shape, or form did this song perpetuate violence towards a certain community or trans women whatsoever. But the funny thing is, I was talking to my wife Nikki yesterday, and I was talking to her about this whole situation, and she was like, "What now? What now?" Like she is so fed up.
What more do you want from me?
She is so fed up, y'all. She's like, listen, first of all, back in her time, this didn't even exist. And then we talked to them like, maybe trans women didn't exist. That even sounds funny to say. But, trans women didn't exist because we didn't have the technology. However, you had drag queens in that time. All right. And so when she was singing this, at no point at all was she ever thinking that there would be a day where we would have something called trans women walking around. But you got 1968 song coming into question 50 years after the fact. 50 years after the fact. How far are we willing to go? I'm going to play some more of a video of some different videos, but I want y'all to hear this. I want y'all to take a look. I'm doing all of this. This is like a natural reaction, natural response. I don't have anything scripted, like I said. All right, this is just my raw response to these clips, y'all. And I want y'all to chime in the chat. Shout out to everybody. Hold it down. It's a great song, and I'm going to listen to it right now because of this post. I know that's right. I know that's right. She about to get man. Listen, she about her and her estate and whoever's in charge of her estate is about to get so much money off of this post right here. It's not even funny. Now we about to get into this. Ketanji Brown, uh, the judge that was recently elected. All right, we're about to get into Ketanji Brown. What is a woman?
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. First of all, why is she so confused? Why does she look so perplexed as the question, what is a woman? And she scrunches up her face. Look at her face, y'all. She is perplexed. Like, what is a woman? Yeah. What is a woman? And if y'all don't know anything about Judge Ketanji Brown, she has some things that she has pushed into the community, some literature that she is pushing into our schools, that many people who are Christian and those, in fact, who are not Christian just do not agree with at all, especially how she chooses to deal with sexual predators. And so there's no surprise to me at all why this woman is confused at the question of what is a woman.
I can't.
You can't?
She can't.
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
Wait a minute. Not in this context.
Meaning of the word.
So wait a minute. She says, not in this context. I'm not in this context. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a biologist. So wait a minute. So you mean to tell me you have to be a biologist and it has to be in the right context in order for you to describe what a woman is? All right, now listen, I'm not a biologist, but I can come up with a great idea of what a woman is. Not all that she is, but some distinct differences between male and female, between a woman and a man. First of all, she's feminine in nature. She's born with a reproductive system to be able to have the ability to have kids. If everything's on a level playing field, now, if she has any ailments, any sicknesses, any illness, or anything like that, I'm not talking about those situations. I'm talking about someone who is feminine in nature, all right, who was born with the reproductive system and who can nurse her young. And I'm going to put that "and" in there, and be a helpmeet to her husband. And if she doesn't have a husband, take that last one out. That's what now, whether she reproduces or ever has any young, it doesn't take away the fact that she was born with the reproductive system to have kids and to nurse kids. That's what a woman is at the core differences between male and female. I could ask our 6-year-old to come in here. He will be able to give a definition as to what is a woman. Now, he may not be perfect in his definition. He may be all over the place with some of his definitions, okay? But he would know that there's a distinct difference between being a woman and a man. And here we have a newly elected judge who cannot provide the definition of what a woman is. And listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make some people mad, but I really don't care. My black card is fully in my hand. Matter of fact, I ain't got no black card to take because it's black. I was born black, and I'm going to be black till I die. But black folk, we got to get over this notion of electing people into office over skin color. We got to get over this. I've heard it said, you're going to have more folk go to hell over skin color than anything else. We elect people over skin color. We hire people over skin color. And I'm talking about all other races. People get hired over skin color. And black folk, we got to stop thinking that just because someone is black, that they're for us. They're not for us. Just because you my skin folk, you ain't my kin folk. That don't make you my kin folk. But we have folk who will line up. Oh, well, she's a black queen. First of all, we don't do the queens. And shout out to Aretha Franklin, because she's been deemed the queen of R&B or whatever. She's been dubbed that or whatever. But I ain't walking around calling every black woman a queen. All right. But we gotta vote for her because she's a queen. Have you taken a look, brother? Since we so quick to go dub somebody as a queen, have you taken a look at her? Have you taken a look at her husband? Now, not to make this racial, but brother, he don't look like you.
The word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the law and I decide. So I'm not.
The fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
Yep. Facts. I'm about to go on the facts. Facts. I want to get into these comments. If she can't answer a basic question like that, what did she say? If she can't answer a basic question like that, why should she make any decision on behalf of us? That's what I'm saying. Exactly, Chelsea. Exactly. She can't answer. Listen. In 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33, it says, God is not the author of confusion. All right, so if this woman has a confused look on her face, trust and believe God is not the author of confusion. And when someone says, you know what, I'm going to alter, a lot of people want to. Let me. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go into something else. I want to go into the comments. Yeah, she can't answer it. Let's say, G Friends, might as well get rid of Whitney Houston's song called "I Am Every Woman." Hey. Well, you know, with that, they may be like, well, I'm every woman. Well, you know what she says? Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. Something like that. Yeah. They may come. Who knows? They may come for Whitney. What you say, Chavis? What you say? Yeah. Man, I feel like a woman. Hey, there's a lot of songs they might come after. Who knows? Let me go into this.
The Miss Universe organization from now on is going to be ran by women.
I can't get over women. Y'all, this is a trans man. I said trans man. They call her. He identifies as a trans woman. He is the new owner of, I believe, the Miss Universe. Y'all can look it up, the Miss Universe pageant or something like that. He is the new owner, and he's basically saying this is ran by women. He's trying to say women, but he's saying women. All right. And so you got all these women in the audience just applauding this man who identifies as a trans woman. This is the new owner. So basically, I'm not going to say it. Let him say it.
Owned by a trans woman for all women. Owned. From now on, it's going to be ran by women. Owned by a trans woman for all women. For all women, really.
So let me ask you this. Today, it identifies as a trans woman. All right. And these people are just applauding this feminist movement. These people are like, yay, like, go, yes, girl, even though that's a man. What's stopping them from waking up one morning and saying, you know what? I feel like a man. I'm going to go into the office. I know I own this organization now, but I felt like a woman, yesterday, but today I feel like a man, and I'm going to come in with my trousers on. I'm going to take, I'm going to cut my hair down. I'm going to cut it down or whatever. No makeup, no nothing. And I'm going to walk into the office and be like, I run this mug. Yeah, a man owns it. What I'm trying to say is this. If we start calling people based on how they feel or what they want to identify as, we're going on a slippery slope, because there's nothing stopping someone from saying I feel a way one day and then the next day I feel another way. First and foremost, we have to understand this and get this notion in our head. Gender is not a feeling, it is a fact. I'm going to say it again. Gender is not a feeling, but it is a fact. It is a fact that I am a man. Whether or not I feel like one, don't matter. I am a man. I'm a man. If you're a woman watching this video, you are a woman. Whether you feel like a woman or not doesn't change the fact that you are a woman. But if we start playing this game of how I feel and I want to live in my truth and all this other stuff, what's stopping a dude from waking up one morning saying, you know what? I want to identify as a woman. Okay, I'm sorry. I want to identify as a woman, and I'm going to put extensions in my head. I'm going to put a wig on my head, and today I feel like a woman. And because of the climate that we live in, people will be like, well, you got to accept him as a woman. But what would you say if you seen him getting into a fist fight with a naturally born woman? What would you say? What would you say? Oh, no, leave her alone. That's a woman. Oh, well, wait a minute. According to the climate that we are trying to create, that's a trans woman. And she has her rights as a trans woman, according to the alphabet community. Where am I going with this? We got to stop basing stuff on feelings. Just because a man wakes up one morning and says, I feel like a woman, it doesn't change the fact that his DNA is a man. He has the muscle structure, the muscle of a man, the bone structure of a man. And if he hauls up and goes upside somebody's head and the police come arrest, they're going to arrest a man and say a man assaulted a woman. Bump the trans, bump the fact that he put on a dress, bump the fact that he wearing a wig and put some makeup on. That is a grown man fighting a woman. And you will have all these people coming to the defense of the woman. But wait a minute, according to the climate that you're trying to create, he should have every right? Because it's all about how you feel. Right? Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean out unto your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I know not everybody lives in that truth. I don't live in my truth. I live in the truth. And if we have more people that are willing to live in the truth, I believe that the world will be in a much, much better place.
Around the world to celebrate the power of feminism.
For all women.
Oh, yeah. Celebrate feminism all around the world, but keep in mind that man was born with testosterone and 2 berries and a twig. Let that sink in. Oh, we about to jump into this hot topic. That's what I'm talking about right here.
You both for being with us. I should say, that while Leah Thomas hasn't had gender-affirming surgery, he did have a year's worth of, I believe, hormonal treatment, which is what the NCAA requires in many situations. But Madison, it doesn't change the biological fact that he's a man. He went through puberty as a man. He has muscle, structure, and everything through 22 years of his life as a man. And Madison, you've competed against this.
That's a man, y'all. That's a man. Now, he didn't have the surgery. He ain't have his stuff chopped off yet, but he went through at least a year's worth of hormonal treatment and all this other stuff. And so now he's competing against women as a 22-year-old woman, but we know that's a man. That's a man. He identifies as a trans man. But listen, this is the slippery slope that we're going down if we just want to say, hey, it's based on how you feel and what you want to identify as. And y'all, we just at the tip of the iceberg on this video.
This exact situation in track. You've competed against transgender athletes.
Yeah, I think I missed your question because it glitched. Do you mind asking it again?
Yeah, sure. Would you tell all of us watching right now, what is it like to go into a competition against a transgender athlete when you know the outcome ahead of time?
Yeah, it's extremely deflating. I've experienced it 5 times, and each time I lost to a biological male. And the fact that that's still happening, that women are still losing to biological males in their own sport, shows why we need more female athletes to speak up about this. And so I just kind of want to say to the female athletes in Pennsylvania, don't let anyone silence you. Speak up. Tell the NCAA, your athletic directors, and your coaches that you want fair competition because...
Yeah. Oh gosh, let me get that off. Yeah. So we have women who are speaking out when we need more women to speak up and say, no, we don't want trans women competing in our sports. We don't want to listen. You got a swimmer. We don't want him saying, you know what, I feel like a woman, and I'm gonna go through these hormonal changes. Your muscle structure is still there. Your DNA is still there. You are a man. You're still a man, but you're competing against women and you're pummeling. This is not one isolated event. We had this stuff going on in wrestling. We got this situation going on in other sports, and we have to respect nature and understand that God made male and female in Genesis chapter 2, verse 5. Says he created them male and female and blessed them, and he named them mankind when they were created. Let me ask you a question. If we're going to say, you know what, I want to be a woman, I want to be a trans woman, and we call ourselves believers in Jesus Christ, don't you believe that it's a slap in the face of God, our creator, to say, you know what, God, you messed up. You messed all the way up. Because even though I'm a woman, I feel like a man. And I'm going to go and change whatever God did, because what God did wasn't good enough. He messed up. Let me ask you a question. For all these people who want to go on their feelings and what they feel like and all this other stuff, instead of addressing the fact that people are mentally ill, people are ill in the head with these situations. Let's just call it what it is. There's a sickening in the mind for people who want to switch their gender. But let me ask you a question. For all these people who say, these dudes who say, oh, I feel like a woman, or these women who say, oh, I feel like a man, how do you know when you never been a man, woman? For the dude, how do you know you feel like a woman when you never been a woman? Because we want to talk about people's bodies and you can't violate can't violate anybody's body. You're not my body. You don't know how I feel. Well, dude, how do you know how a woman feels when you never been a woman? You don't. It's all what you think you feel. It's all what society's pushing on us and saying, well, hey, listen, live free, live on your emotions, forget science, Forget the fact that God is a God of order. Forget the fact that God doesn't make mistakes. Forget the fact that God calls these things an abomination. He doesn't just call those things an abomination. He also frowns on sexual immorality for the heterosexual as well. Yes, he does. All right. For the people who don't belong to that community, God frowns on fornication and adultery and sexual immorality, even if you're heterosexual as well. But he calls these things an abomination. Why? Simply because God doesn't hate us. He just hates that sin. That's just food for thought. For all of us who say what we feel like and we feel like the other gender, how do you know when you've never been the other gender? You're just going off your emotions. There's been plenty. See, we don't want to talk about those cases where people have had the sex change and then they get converted into Christianity and they regret it. We don't want to talk about those cases. The thousands of cases where that has happened. Or even the ones who didn't convert to Christianity, who just regretted the change and said, man, what was I thinking? Oh, I feel bad for the dudes who got their twig and berries cut off. Oh, man, like I couldn't imagine walking around with like I don't have nothing.
What more do you want from me?
I have nothing to offer. It's cold. But yeah, I would feel horrible for the dude who says, you know what? I made a grave mistake. Can't reverse it. Dang. And then the reversal attempts are just horrible, as I'm told. Why don't transgender men have their own sports? Well, I guess because it ain't enough. I don't know. But even with that, man, somebody gonna always find a way to get to, they're always gonna have something to complain about. And before we get too far along, y'all need to understand, ain't nobody sitting up there trying to be violent or being hateful towards that community. But what we are tired of is the Christian community is our rights and our beliefs not being valued. It's like this stuff is going to be pushed down our throats until we just acquiesce and say, you know what? I just give in. Just like you want your beliefs and your feelings to be respected, our feelings and our beliefs and our faith should be respected. It's not hate speech for someone to say, I just don't agree. But we just take it so far. They have taken it so far to where not only do I not like that you don't agree, I want you to agree. And if you don't agree, I'm going to label you as a phobe, as a very hateful person. I'm about to go to this next clip, but y'all going to be blown away with this next topic. Stick around. Let's see. It's true that people wake up in the morning and decided to be in a lifelong, in a lifestyle. Hey, listen, just woke up one morning. Hey, it's true. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, let me go ahead and play this real quick.
Athletic directors and your coaches that you want fair competition because
we're going to address furries, y'all. Y'all believe this.
Hi, Lisa. Welcome.
Hi. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
I have a speech prepared to read regarding the test to stay program and how unconstitutional it is. But I need to address something else, not just to you as the board, but to parents and grandparents and taxpayers in our community. Still wrapping my brain around this a little bit, but yesterday I heard something and I was stunned. And today I am equally stunned and a little bit upset.
Y'all, do me a favor. Everybody in the chat, can y'all please hit that like button? Please hit the like button, because I have a lot of people to come here to watch and they don't hit the like button. Please make sure y'all hit that like button. And I believe this is actually in the state. This is up north, and I believe this is in the state of Indiana.
Well, not a little bit, a lot of it upset, furious. I would even use that word, but I want to talk about the fact that, and I know this is going on nationwide, so it is not just for this board, but our community needs to understand that the agenda that is being pushed through our schools is just my opinion, but somewhat nefarious when it comes to some of the activities. So let's talk about furries. It was addressed by a child a couple months ago that they are put in an environment where there are kids that identify as a furry, a cat or a dog, whatever. And so yesterday I heard that at least one of our schools in our town has in one of the unisex bathrooms, a litter box for the kids that identify as cats.
Wait a minute. Hold up. First of all, she said in one of that we already on the bad foot because we talked about it. We're already talking about unisex bathrooms. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let me back up just a little bit because y'all, these people are demanding kitty litter be in the bathroom
for the kids that identify as cats. And I am really disturbed by that. And I will do some more investigation on that. I know it's going on nationwide. I know it is. It's part of the agenda that's being pushed. I don't even want to understand it. But I think that people need to be aware of it because I am really upset as a parent that my child is put in an environment like that. And, I'm all for creativity and imagination, but when someone lives in a fantasy world and expects other people to go along with it, I have a problem with that. So
yeah. So basically she is upset because the school is now putting kitty litter in the bathrooms for people who want to identify as cats. What part of the game is this? What are we doing? Like what are we doing, y'all? Look at this. Look. What are we doing? What are we doing, y'all? Look, gosh. Let me make me. What are we doing? Come on, man. Come on. You can't be serious. We got folks who are identifying as cats and saying that we're infringing on their rights and we're treating them as less than because we don't have kitty litter in the bathroom. So this is the resounding question I've had this whole life, this entire life. Where does it end? Where does it end? What's stopping somebody to say, you know what? I identify as a horse. I identify as a horse. And y'all don't have no hay in the bathroom. Y'all don't have hay in the student section. Y'all don't have no hay in the library. I identify as a horse. Like, what are we doing? Like, listen, what if I say I love what the woman said. She said, this fantasy land. What if I say, you know what, I want to identify as a bird? or jets. My homeboy said a Power Ranger. Shaven said a Power Ranger. It's morphin' time, cuz. Like, what are we doing? Come on. Listen, I want to identify as a plane, as a jet. I can want to identify as a plane or a jet all day or a bird. Tweets. But let me take myself and go try to jump off of a skyscraper. Who do I get blame? Who do I blame for that when I splat on the ground? Do I blame gravity? Do I blame God? Like, do I blame society because they didn't help me create wings because I felt like a bird? I mean, I don't understand. So somebody says they feel like a bird because birds they poop on folks' car. So can you imagine coming out and see somebody doing that on your car and they say, you know what, you're infringing on my rights. I feel like a bird and this is what birds do. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing, y'all? I'm finna take this off. What in the world are we doing? I said, wait a minute. Identify. Gracious greatness, how you doing, bruh? From across the pond. I meant to say what up earlier. Yeah. Well, I identify as a draft and I deserve for the state of Florida to pay for my stilts. Come on, man. Like what are we doing? I said, listen, I said this was going to happen when gay marriage became legal. Oh man, yeah, listen, that was just the tip of the iceberg. He said, "I'll fry that dude." What are we? But no, seriously, y'all saw the little girl. I'm a cat. I should have had a meow sound effect up in here. But what are we doing? When will it end? When will we realize that we cannot base reality off of what we feel? Like I said, I love what the woman says. She says, I should not be forced to go into your fantasy land. Basically, you need to respect my reality. The reality is you're not a cat. As much as you feel like as much as you feel like a feline, as much as you feel like you're a furry, as much as you think you need that kitty litter, no, you don't need the kitty litter. You need help. You need help. There is something wrong when people can just say how they feel, and based on how they feel, we're going to force everybody else to respect how they feel, and not just respect how they feel, to actually accept how they feel, even though it infringes on the reality that we choose to live in. That's what I'm talking about. Where does it end? This whole situation on trans women, and I joked around about the dude, the trans woman who's really a dude, owning the Miss Universe, pageant or whatever. I don't believe we're going to have enough backlash until this happens, until trans women start infringing on the right of naturally born women. When they start taking away jobs, when corporations say, you know what, we're just sorry, we already filled our quota for women. We're only accepting trans women at this point to fill a quota. When that happens, when you have Keisha or Becky going for an interview and they say, oh, I'm sorry, you're a naturally born woman. We can't have any more naturally born women in this company. I'm telling you, all hell is going to break loose. This whole feminism wave, this whole modern feminism, fourth feminism phase, or this fourth wave feminism, modern feminism, all of that stuff. It's going to come to a point to where the people who were born naturally with a vajayjay are going to start having their rights taken away from them because of people within this community. It's gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's already happening with the men. It's already happening with the men. But when that starts happening, when that starts affecting people's pocketbook, when it starts affecting the coin, people listen. And I am afraid that it's going to get to a point to where we're going to have so many people. Well, we already have that, but we're going to have plenty of people walking around with a reprobate mind, not knowing right from wrong, just turned over to themselves as God would do. And it's just going to be utter lawlessness, foolishness running rampant. And I love what a lot of people actually said to the response to this whole Aretha Franklin controversy. They're like, Lord, just come back. Just come back. My wife says that all the time. Lord, just listen. If the Lord don't hurry up and come back, he might not have nothing left. Sodom and Gomorrah was a real thing. Sodom and Gomorrah was a real event. Was a real cities that were destroyed. Y'all listen. I really do appreciate the fact that y'all came on this live. I want to actually, I want to have some people, I want to get to this chat real quick. They're also trying to twist our necks and try to make us now like the times of Daniel. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy, y'all. It's getting wild. Well, I shouldn't say getting. It is wild. It is crazy. But y'all, a lot of people want to question, why do you Christians care so much? What, I don't understand. Why do you always have something to say? Well, because we are staunch in our faith. We believe that there is an order that God has established. We believe in the word of God. We believe that he created male and female. All right. And the problem is this: it's not enough for us to just say, hey, this is what they do over there. The problem is it's getting pushed to our children, whether we like it or not. Our children are getting indoctrinated with these lifestyles, whether we like it or not. Our children are being taught in the schools that, hey, this is okay. And it's okay to feel this way. And it's okay to explore. And it's getting pushed to our children. Even in cartoons, we're seeing it. We're seeing it to where this stuff is not, hey, I'm doing my thing. I'm not harming nobody. Leave me alone. It's, we're going to force feed this thing down your throats until you agree with it. Because what they cannot do is they cannot live with the fact that there's somebody in the world that disagrees with what they do. We're not talking about harming anybody. We're not talking about forcing anybody to do anything. You know what? You do what you do. You're grown. Listen, that's your prerogative. We're going to preach Christ. We're going to preach what is right. If you don't agree with it, then you don't agree with it. But at least respect our stance in what we believe. But that's not good enough. 60 years ago was, hey, I just want to do my thing in the community, this, that, and the other. I don't want to bother anybody. Now it's gotten to the point to where, hey, you had better respect this. You had better accept this. You better. Putting it in all the movies, all the cartoons, in our schools, everywhere. And we're just saying we're sick and tired of it. We're sick and tired of it. So y'all, yeah, at the end, wait a minute, what'd you say? At the end of the day, well, at the end, I really don't care. Yeah. Listen, man. Listen, we're sick and tired of it, man. We love everybody, but just because we love you, it doesn't mean we have to accept what you do. Just like if you are of another persuasion, we don't expect y'all to accept what we do, but respect what we do is what we're saying. Y'all, it has been real, and I'm gonna say it on this live because I said it at the beginning. I'm gonna say it on this live. This one right here, this polarizing live, this controversial live that we're addressing some hot topics. I'm gonna say it. Y'all, listen. I've learned a lot of things, as I said at the beginning of this live. All right, I've learned how to cry. I've learned how to ride bikes. I've learned how to drive. I've learned how to have a YouTube channel. And in having this YouTube channel, I have learned that no matter what you say or how you say it, somehow, some way, somebody gonna find a way to be offended by what you say. But here's what I got to say to all of y'all. And I'm gonna say it to where the people in the back can hear it too. For all the trolls, or anybody else. If you're offended, I really don't care.